I was playing around with these paintings today, and I was using this palette, which of course you can't tell because this is what I use. I have a history of palettes on here, but the palette was this deep red, red cadmium, and a pink, and a blue, and a yellow, and an apricot, right? And Baltic green. And it wasn't until maybe an hour or 2 hours into it that I discovered something really surprising. And I want to show you the color that completely shocked me. And I'm going to mix it right on this paper so you can see it happen. I was never so surprised. This is a Baltic green, and this is a cadmium red deep, okay? They both happen to be by Liquitex. This is probably 30 years old, honestly. I'm just going to use a little old paintbrush here. So I'm just going to show you. Now, I would have never, I was just playing around mixing this color with that one, and this color with that one, and that color with that one, just for the fun of it. Just, the paintings were done. I just wanted to see, just to experiment and see what would happen and just play around and have some fun. The best thing of the whole day happened after the paintings were all finished. I could not believe the gorgeous color. I would have never predicted this. Now that I have seen it happen, and I think back to why it happened this way, I could say, well, of course, the Baltic green has a lot of blue in it. And of course it would make this gorgeous plum kind of color. I'm going to put a little bit more on there just to bring it out a little more. Now I can logically say, oh, sure, of course, it's very blue. It's a bluish, very bluish green. So, of course, it would make a purpley, plummy color. But it's so gorgeous. Now, normally, I'm a pretty bold colored person, so this might not be a color I would always be drawn to, but I was doing Tuscan, cypress trees. So in this setting, that plum, I added a little plum to the shadows and to the flowers. The plum completely made both of these paintings, completely made them. I am absolutely in love with this color. I mean, you could buy this color. It's a great color. But having mixed it, I love it that much more. I am just absolutely crazy about this color. I'm definitely going to do some more with this color. So, I am just a really big fan of experimentation and mixing the colors that you think you know. So like I had this, this bright yellow, and I had this bright blue, and I thought, well, what will happen if I mix them? I didn't even think they looked that neon together. Dog hair. How does dog hair get on absolutely every single thing? And each one of them separately didn't seem neon. But when I mixed it together into that green, super neon green, right? So when I'm going to take the other side of this card in case that's still a little bit wet. So when we blend these together, we're going to end up with a really wild, I think I see things. I think I know things. I think I notice things, but I don't always notice things. And that's the thing about painting, right? Is it makes you see It makes you see things that you wouldn't otherwise see. So let's see if we can, make some, like this will be a great piece of collage paper, right? So experimentation is just everything, right? Because with experimentation, we're gonna see the next direction to go that we might not have seen otherwise. And screw you guys back a little bit. We're gonna see what the next fun thing is that we would have never thought of, because life isn't lived just in our heads, It's a physical thing. You gotta like physically. Yeah, there's not enough. It dries so quickly, this paint, man. Life is lived in the physicality, right? Not in our intellect. That's not where life happens. Life happens with our hands. With our hands, making stuff, doing stuff. So, experimentation. Now, what would be a great color to put into the background of this? First, let me give it a little bit more of a wash. I wonder if, let's look at this and see where the plum really sets off beautifully. It really does set off beautifully against a green, against a rust or a not copper really, but brick. Maybe we can make up because you know why? Because I made that brick with this same cadmium. That's why it looks so good together. Make it fresh on here. And not that much yellow. Not that much yellow. Okay, y'all go over there. Yellow, as we know, is often so anemic, whereas red, of course, is super bold. So when I'm mixing anything with yellow, usually it's going to take a lot more yellow. See how gorgeous? Yeah, look at that gorgeousness. Now, I think to get to match that well, though, it wants white. We'll put you off to the side a little bit so we don't add too much at once. All right, let's see. All right, let's see how that goes. Is that looking good? Let's see how that does together. Is that looking like a good combination? Of course, it might take for me to spread it out before we really know. I like having the variegation in there. Let's give that a try. Flip you around a little bit. All right. Now, when I first mixed this plum, I laid the red on the paper. So, of course, that was the first thing that hit the paper. So, got that beautiful red streak right there, which is actually kind of right at the Fibonacci sequence, isn't it? Which I just love. I love that that's right there. That's a great place for, it's like a jewel in the whole thing. So we definitely want to let a little bit of the red, I think, show out then in some of this, you know, to balance that out. Like let a little bit of it come out to play. All right, shoom, shoom, shoom. Experimentation. I love the brick of this. I love the brick of this. That's going to be a fun piece of, that's going to be a fun piece of collage paper. And that plum, I just feel like I want to, I mean, I love the brick. I love the brick. It's a beautiful color, and I can do more with that, but I love that plum. You know, your logic, I would have never, I don't combine red and green usually, and I would have never thought to combine these two to get a color I would love as much as I love that plum. But I think this is a color I'm going to come back to again and again, and this experience is going to, I think, make me want to combine a lot more colors, especially the ones that I think will never go together well. So tell me what colors you're combining and I'd love to know what your favorite, most surprising color combination is. So far, this might be my most surprising color combination ever. So a couple of little experimentations, that and the neon. You would not think these would go together, but different experimentations can come on the same day. Right, thanks for tuning in.